Hello students, our next topic is vegetative propagation. So what is meant by vegetative propagation? The name itself tells us this is the propagation or reproduction of the new organism from the parent organism from the vegetative parts of the plant. So what are the vegetative parts of the plant? They are like leaves, root and stem. Except the flower, remaining parts of the plant can be considered as a vegetative parts. Flower can be considered as a reproductive part, like sexual reproductive part, remember that one. Remaining parts are the vegetative parts. Suppose any plant is having the capability to reproduce with the help of some of the vegetative parts like leaf, root and stem, that can be considered as vegetative propagation, and we see this in case of plants. So how do they propagate? Through fragmentation process or else through regeneration process they can propagate. Fragmentation is nothing but any cut piece of the parent plant, when it is sown in the favorable conditions like proper soil, moist water, minerals, everything is supplied to them. The fragment piece, the piece of the parent plant will get ability to regrow. At the same time, as they have the regenerating cells, the piece is having the broken piece or the cut piece having the regenerating cells, completely a new plant can grow from the cut piece of the parent plant. Okay, so here what are the vegetative propagation methods and what are the organs involving in that, if you see detailedly. This vegetative propagation is broadly classified into natural vegetative propagation and artificial vegetative propagation. So what is meant by natural vegetative propagation? Where there is no involvement of human, naturally these vegetative parts are having the capability to regrow. Okay, this occurs when plants grow and develop naturally without any human interface. So here examples are like stem, leaves and roots are involving in the case of natural vegetative propagation. Here you can see roots also involving in the natural vegetative propagation, even leaves also involving in the natural vegetative propagation. Remember, this can be converted into artificial methods also, but naturally even human is not involving in the process, naturally also it can be done. So how it can be done, you can see. Suppose some of the plants are having stem modifications and stem is having nodes on them which are having buds in the nodes, and they are having the capability to regrow into a new individual. Suppose example you can see here, this is the rhizome of the ginger. Rhizome of the ginger is nothing but it is a stem modification where it is having the nodes. You can observe here, these are the nodal areas, are having bud like structures. These buds are having the ability to regrow into the new plant. So when we cut this part, this particular parts, when we cut it and when you sow it in the favorable conditions, the piece which is having the node, at least one or two nodes should be there, and when we sow them in the favorable conditions, then new ginger plant can grow from the stem parts. At the same time, some of the grass and strawberry type of plants are having runners. Runners are nothing but when the tender or the thin stems come in contact with the soil, then from the particular area they can start producing roots as well as new stem and leaf parts. So how they can grow? Suppose this is the parent plant is having the tender and very thin stems. The stem part sometimes will come in contact with the soil area. So this particular soil area, as it is a favorable condition, here it start growing roots, and from this area it start developing remaining leaves also. Okay, so like this also stem is helpful in propagating or producing the new plant from the parent plant. Okay, even this can happen naturally, even this process we sometimes use in the artificial vegetative propagation also. Okay, and here if you see, this is the sweet potato which is root modification. Generally, potato comes under stem modification, and potato is having the eyes, the buds are present in the eyes, so that the stem is having the tubers of the potato is having the ability to produce the new plant. But in the case of sweet potato, this is the root modification. So root storing the food and root is having the nodes and buds. So cut piece of this root is sown in the favorable conditions. Then as this is having the buds, those buds can produce a new sweet potato plant. So this is the cut pieces from the root part of the sweet potato parent plant. Okay, even it can be done artificially. Even we leave this without involvement of human also, naturally also it can be propagated. Okay, so that is about the root one. You can check here. Roots, new plants emerge out of swollen or modified roots known as tubers. Buds are formed at the base of the stem. So in that case, it can be happened in the same way. So roots can develop, and those from the roots area, erect direction, in the erect direction, stem part can be developed. Coming to leaf, how leaf, or which type of plants leaves are helpful in propagation of the new plant. Like Begonia bryophyllum leaves, if you see, this is the best example, Begonia and bryophyllum. This is the plant bryophyllum. Okay, bryophyllum, where the leaves are having buds. Okay, here clearly you can check these parts. Leaves are having the buds. When the leaves are detached from the parent plant and they come in contact with the soil, as the leaves are having these buds, from the leaf new plant can develop. How it is possible naturally? Naturally, when the leaves become older and they shed from the parent plant, these leaves which are carrying the buds come in contact with the soil. As the buds are having the ability to regrow, new plant or new begonia plant or new bryophyllum plant can produce from the parent plant. Okay, so leaves of few plants get detached from parent plant and develop into new plant. Okay, so like that, natural vegetative propagation methods can be occur with the help of stem, root and leaves. Okay, here already we discussed, right? Potato, this is the white potato, which is the stem modification, is having eyes, like notches like structures are present. In the notches there are buds are present. So when these buds reach to the, or buds come in contact with the favorable conditions, new potato plant can grow from the parent plant. Okay, so that is about natural vegetative propagation. Then what about artificial vegetative propagation? Okay, so next, the methods of artificial vegetative propagation are similar to the natural one only. Based on the natural method of vegetative propagation, human applied his technology and he developed this artificial vegetative propagation. So what is the need of developing this artificial vegetative propagation? Because to meet the population demand, there is a need of improving the technology and improvising the technology and developing in more quantity of the plant and plant products. So what happens in the artificial vegetative propagation? Common method of artificial vegetative propagations are nothing but cutting, grafting, budding and layering. Okay, cutting, grafting, layering are the main one. Even budding also comes under artificial vegetative propagation. So coming to cutting process, cutting is removing a portion of stem and fixing it in the soil to allow the growth of roots and buds growing into the shoot. Example, rose, sugarcane, cotton plants can grow or they can propagate by using stem cuttings. by using stem cutting. So what happens in the process, if you see, generally sugarcane, you all are aware of that sugarcane structure, is the stem part is having the nodes, right? So these are the nodal areas, node, and the gap between node to node is known as internode. Actually this is the internodal area, but these are the nodes. Okay, these nodes are having buds, these nodes are having the buds. So minimum 2-3 nodes if it is there in the cutting of the stem part, when it is sown in the favorable conditions, when it is kept in the soil or sown in the soil in the favorable conditions, because of the presence of these buds, new sugarcane plant can propagate. I hope you understood this one, right? Sugarcane structure everyone know, right? You all are aware of this. Sugarcane is stem structure. If you see, it is having the nodes, minimum 2-3 nodes if it is there in the cutting of the stem part. Then this particular part can be sown in the soil. Then from this piece entire new plant can be developed. Okay, so that is the cutting process. Generally we use the same concept in case of rose plant propagation or hibiscus propagation also. Okay, even like a cotton plant propagation also we use the same cutting process. Next one, if you see, that is the grafting or scion grafting also we call this one, grafting. So what is meant by grafting? Grafting is a joining a part of a living plant, that is the scion, to another plant that is called as stalk, causing it to grow as a part of second plant. It may be in the form of whip grafting or cleft grafting. Whip grafting or cleft grafting, if you see, the shape of the cutting it will be, that depends on the shape of the cutting. So how it happens, you can see, mostly grafting can be seen in the case of oranges, guava plants, even some type of hibiscus also can perform this grafting process. Here the plant which is with the roots, the plant which is with the roots is known as stalk. This is known as stalk, and we join another plant on the top of this one, that is known as scion. Okay, so two plants can be joined with each other. How they can join? On the stalk plant we can join, we can bring the piece of the scion and we will join them, scion, and will join them. So let me clarify that clearly. So how they can be arranged? Suppose if you see here, structure of this, generally when we want to get two desirable characteristics or more desirable characteristics from two parent plants, we use this process. Even here two plants are involving, we consider this as asexual mode of reproduction, because there is no involvement of sexual part of the plant, that is flower is not involving. Remember, as flower is not involving, grafting can be considered as asexual mode of reproduction. So in grafting process, suppose there is a hibiscus plant which is bearing yellow flowers. Okay, so I can cut a hibiscus plant stem part along with the roots. This is having the roots also. Okay, and we can give a slant cut in such a way. In this way we can give a slant cut. Okay, same way I can take another plant, another hibiscus plant with red color flowers. So this is with yellow color flowers, this is with red color flower. Red color flower stem part is not having root, but it is having leaves. Okay, it is having leaves. So here this is which color I brought? This is maybe red color hibiscus I brought it. So this is red in color, this is yellow in color. there is a chance of, when these two are come in contact and grow as a single plant, then there is a chance of getting pink color hibiscus flowers. Okay, so here the plant part which is taken as the base along with the roots is known as stalk. This is known as stalk. Okay, and the plant part which is not having roots but bearing the leaves is known as scion. Okay, here some precautionary measures has to be taken when during the joining process. Carefully this area should be insulated, because as the cell walls are cut off, there is a chance of impervision of any pathogens into this area. To avoid that one, insulation and sterilization should be done properly in this particular area. So after few months, like 2-3 months it takes to join and grow as a single individual. After that, if you observe, the flowering can start with maybe pink color flowers. To get two desirable characteristics, mostly we use this grafting process. Okay, so what is the grafting? Is a joining a part of a living plant to another, causing it to grow as a part of the second plant. It may be in the form of whip grafting or cleft grafting. Whip grafting or cleft grafting is nothing but the shapes. If you see here, generally we are here we given a slant cut. Sometimes we can give a V-shaped cut also. Suppose this is the stalk plant, we can give this V-shaped cut. Then scion also will be cut in the similar shape. Okay, scion also can be cut in the similar shape to join in this gap. Like this can be joined in the gap. So different cutting process they can be followed in the grafting process. Okay, so that is about grafting. Next one is the layering process. You can see here. Next artificial vegetative propagation method is the layering. In this method, a young branch is bent and pressed into the moist soil. Already we have discussed this as a natural vegetative propagation, like runners of the stem. What we have seen is similar to this, but with the involvement of the human also we can observe this one. Okay, so in this what happened? In this method, a young branch is bent and pressed into moist soil. After some time, roots can develop from the covered part. Suppose you see this picture clearly, then you will understand that. For better understanding, I am zooming it and showing this. Here, this is the parent plant. The branch which is near to the soil can be given a bend, and here we can keep some weight on this. So after few days, the area, the part of the parent plant which is in contact with the soil start growing the roots. Okay, and anyhow you know that shoot always grow away to the gravity. So here the shoot system also start growing away to the soil. Okay, after that we can give a cut. We can detach this daughter plant or the new individual from the parent plant, and we can shift this daughter plant to the desired areas. Okay, so that is about layering. Even multiple directions the layering process can be done. Suppose you see both the directions layering process it has done. In this case, right and left, both the sides the bends are given, and both the directions layering process has done. Right, so this is artificially, because human do the process. Human give a bend, he selects the stem which is near to the, or the branch of the stem which is near to the soil, and he start bending that. He allows that to come in contact with the soil, then it start developing the roots, even the shoot. Then slowly it can be detached from the parent plant. So new plant can be produced from the parent plant. So that is about layering process. So where do we see this layering process? If you see, Generally, layering is a method young branch is bent and pressed into moist soil. After some time, roots develop from the covered parts. This is called a layer. Now, branch can be cut from the parent and a new plant is produced. Okay, new plant can be produced, and this method is used to propagate plants such as jasmine, black raspberries. In those two cases, mostly layering process can be followed. Jasmine and raspberry. Even in the case of strawberry also, layering process can be followed. Okay, that is about layering. Here, if you see another advanced method of vegetative propagation is there, that is nothing but tissue culture. So what is meant by tissue culture? If you see, tissue culture is in vitro method carried on an artificial medium in which a cell, tissue, callus or explant is used to create a whole new plant. Okay.